Mario & Luigi for MS-DOS is a freeware title designed by Mike Weering in 1994, back when MS-DOS was still a prevalent platform for the PC before Windows 95 came along, or something like that. It's essentially 6 levels of Super Mario Bros. With the classic gameplay more or less translated onto the PC platform. There's no story to be found here, no princesses to rescue, no Bowser to usurp, no ending to be seen. It's just 6 straight levels of straightforward Super Mario platforming action, with the game looping at a faster speed upon completion of the game's final level. If this were a title that charged people money to play, then it'd be a classic example of a ripoff, considering that there's not much to the game. But because this is a freeware title and done as a quick project more than anything else, the game's length is not much of an issue. So with that having been said, it begs the question of why bother with a review of a game that's 18 years old, done as a lark, available for free on the internet, and for a PC platform that has long since been abandoned by the majority of PC users? Cause quite frankly, I've got nothing better to do. Might as well say it like it is. There's not much to Mario and Luigi, really. You just go from left to right, killing off Goombas, Koopas, Spinies, what have yous, while collecting coins and power-ups to increase your chances of success, like a Super Mario Bros. Game would be. You have the bare minimum of power-ups, like the Super Mushrooms that will make you big, or the Fire Flowers, or the Invincibility Starman, but they didn't toss in poisonous mushrooms that count as a hit from an enemy. Most of the game takes place in the overworld, which looks somewhat different from each other. One has the sunset and one's at night, etc. But there's also an underworld level and a castle level that concludes the game. Each level is completed by entering the last pipe of the level, at which point the score you've obtained for that level gets added to a total score. There's no time limit, so you can backtrack and explore as much of the level as you want, although there isn't much to explore anyways, as the levels are generally straightforward affairs with few surprises and few warp pipes. The levels themselves are also sparsely populated, and there's only a few enemies total in the game. Not even a final confrontation with Bowser in the final level or anything like that. You just get in the pipe and you restart the levels, only the action's much faster. And all things considered, Mario veterans shouldn't have a problem beating this in under half an hour, if that. Mario & Luigi boasts 2-player gameplay and allows you to save your progress during a 1 or 2-player game, which seems like overkill since this is a short game. It's only 6 levels long and the levels themselves aren't all that long to begin with, but it's a nice gesture nonetheless. The overall gameplay is similar to the original Super Mario Bros., albeit a bit less refined. Controls a primary sticking point here, as both running and shooting fireballs are assigned to different keys, whereas in a traditional 2D Mario game, one button performs both actions. Perhaps this is due to the limitation of the programming or something, but it does feel a bit odd and results in more busy work on the keyboard than necessary. It's just something you have to get used to when you're playing this on the keyboard. But if you have a Joy-to-Key program and are playing this through DOSBox, you can change the controls around so that it plays more like a traditional 2D Mario, or at least as you would play it on the NES or Super Nintendo or what have you. The physics aren't quite accurate to what you would normally associate with Super Mario Bros. The jumping in particular feels a bit weird, a bit wonky. It's almost akin to the jumping in Super Mario Land on the Game Boy. Although the jumping isn't necessarily a huge issue in the game, it's just another slight adjustment you have to make overall. Also, you can't crouch at all, which means no sliding crouch maneuvers to sneak into really tiny areas. It's not a big omission or anything, There's never a case where you actually ever really need it, but it's something you easily notice. Mario & Luigi looks rather nice, sporting graphics that look almost on par with Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo. It's not a spectacular looking game and the animation is rather slow, but at the very least it looks well enough like a Mario game and not like pure crap. The game lacks music and uses the PC speakers to produce all the game's sound effects, although it should be noted that the game does attempt to replicate the classic Mario sounds. It's not quite up to snuff, not even close, but they sound close enough and the effort was attempted at least, so props for that. For a fan-made freeware game made for MS-DOS, Mario & Luigi comes off as a rather competent effort that manages to recreate the gameplay of the classic Super Mario games to favorable results. It's a rather short game and it's not quite as polished as an official Mario release, but it is a far better effort than past MS-DOS attempts at NES franchises such as Mega Man, which people actually had to pay money for. In the long run, you're not really missing anything by skipping out on Mario & Luigi, as it's pretty short and offers nothing special, but for a quick Mario fix on the PC, you could do much worse.